Greetings and salutations, universe. This is Creeta, and this is Feed the Beast Interactions. Hello. So I figured out, hopefully, maybe someone might have pointed it out in the last episode, but I noticed that we'd put the wrong block here. We did not put marble arches, we put runed marble. Whoops, my bad. So now this is fully functional, and these ender chickens are slowly producing piles of neutrons. I think this 600 has come from these three already, and it's going pretty well. I'm not too worried about them producing too many or anything crazy like that. Upgrade, let's see. We can probably give it just 2 upgrades, that'll be okay. Always give it the most, right? Yoink, 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 and yoink. So this thing will hold an absolutely ridiculous amount of piles of neutron piles of neutrons, yeah. So we'll be in good business there. Probably the big thing up next is the toluene, gelled toluene, potentially large sums of sulfuric acid as well. But yeah, these little guys are pretty much taken care of. We have a muffler down here to make them a little bit quieter, and they're pretty fantastic. Their neutrons are just going all over the place, and they get collected into there. While we were talking, it went from what, 600 to 800, so we're gonna have enough in no time. So just a quick note for those of you just joining. Under here we have antimatter, just a massive amount of it. You only need a little, I think, but I did it for visual sakes. Ooh, I don't like that. I do not like that skeleton. Die, thank you. We've had a few mistakes because it got out, especially on this side. But for the most part, it's a reasonable setup. Just mostly did it for the looks. We needed a big enough chamber where we could hold these guys. There is a 2-layer block. This block is totally unnecessary, but I did it so that we didn't get to look at that static nonstop. Just a little bit is nice to me. And then we needed a space that was big enough to spawn these guys in. There's other ways of doing this, but it works. And then they take damage from the nearby antimatter, and they drop neutrons. The thing that's keeping them alive is this thing right here. This is a Vitus crystal. A Vitus, right? With a constellation stuff, a tuned crystal doohickey majig, right? 900, beautiful. And see, now they'll start taking damage. Look at that. I place this in here and they heal right up. Beautiful. It's an elegant system and I like it a lot. Boom, since we were talking again, already at 1200. I think we only need 20,000, so this will be ready in probably like an hour or two, and I can just disable this, and we'll have more neutrons than what we know what to do with. Now, this is a pretty good happenstance for us. I'm gonna need a use for the charcoal, and it's being produced in this really cool machine, right? But I also want it to run. Because, funny enough, quite a lot of stuff actually uses the steam from this machine, and it's an antiquated machine, so I'm not too worried about it actually kind of breaking. I can always supply this with banners or something, but this is also where we're getting some wood. Yeah, and this is where we need the wood tar. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna figure out a way to just sort of stuff this machine in here. Yeah, figure it out from there, right? So I think it's 4 blocks long, so we need a spot back here for some various inputs and outputs and whatnot. But I think it should be functional in this room. I'll just replace what I need to make it work a little bit better. And for the most part, we should have this operational with quite a lot of ease. It is encroaching on a few areas, Right up there is the conveyor belt. So if I break this block, we're now in our hallway. Things are going to be nice and tight as far as I'm concerned. So that is perfect. All right. This is really squeezed in here, but I think it should work. And that will boost our wood tar production. We're just sort of changing up the methodology here. We've taken off the wood hopper, which I love them so much. They're amazing. This guy is extracting. Beautiful. So all we need to do is bring it down into her and insert. Now, you gonna work? I think it's working. Beautiful. Yeah, that's working great. We might have to increase the production of logs to keep up with this, but it should work quite well. In fact, we might even be able to squeeze out the charcoal back here and put it back into the system a little bit. Possibly, how would I do that? Like a small drip of them down, because if this guy runs out of logs, then we have an issue. But I think it receives more, right? So we're just sort of skimming off the top. Right now it's draining this tank, but I have given this a priority on this conduit. If it would like to click, there we go. Priority 5. So this guy will continue to run, but we should be experiencing a higher amount of fluid flowing through this distillation tower. At least if my understanding is correct. Yeah, that was green a lot quicker, whereas now it's waiting on the next load from the from the Pyrolyse. Perfect. Yes. Oh, it did it twice in a row just there. I like it. So that will speed up toluene production. Fantastic. And as always now, I'm taking out my illumination wand. Man, I wish I had one of these earlier, but we didn't, so that's okay. No big deal. And we're using up some of these old basic mechanical pipes. They will function us quite nicely. Yeah, I call that a nice little project complete. Oh, almost missed up pipe here. Huh. Do I have a... Oh, I do. Brilliant. Yoink. All right, so now we actually have a kind of interesting problem, is that wood is now the issue. But as you can see, it seems to be flowing a lot faster. I wonder, is this thing full? Ooh, it is. Good. So now it's mostly on the production of charcoal? Or did this thing fill up? No, it is filling up this guy rather quickly too. Fantastic. So this Pyrolyse is running constantly, which means this tank will have a pretty good flow. We should see it come through the pipe momentarily, maybe. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So that will increase our toluene production by quite a large margin. I wonder if I should give this an EV amount of power. Would that be too much? That would probably be too much. Yeah, of course we'll do it. Are you joking? All the power! Alright, what? I got totally distracted by that. I didn't think that the limiter would be energy, so I am quite surprised by that. Where, oh where, did the EV power go? Well, I found one. There we go. Beautiful. So now this guy should be running much faster. Yeah, maybe. But the wood is still an issue, right? A second ago this was at 42 stacks, and now it's down, it's getting underneath the 41. So that will eventually become an issue. But I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. We're learning together how to do astral sorcery. I'm sure there's a bunch of people yelling at me right now about all sort. Been yelling at me the whole series. Let's be serious. I've absorbed some of our celestial collector crystals right here, and I've placed them over here. I don't think there's many more crafts that we need to do, and we can always wait for nighttime, not a big deal. But these things are speeding up this tree beacon by a significant margin, to the point where the flow of these guys is quite consistent. Boop, and boop, right? The little pooper, the poop pooper, or the wood pooper, is working brilliantly. And if I ever really need to, time in a bottle. Oh, look at that. So that's a thing. That always works. Is there something else that we might want to do? Would this be worth it? A sapling infuser? Rich phyto goo. Isn't there a really cheap way of getting this? Wasn't that a thing? No, not really. That's a shame. I think phyto was what we used for mana dust, and then we got the mana chicken, which acted as a replacement for it, so we didn't need it anymore. But I could easily speed this up with a whole bunch of crystals. Speaking of those crystals, I was taking a look at how to improve them, and I did some research. We can increase the awesomeness of these guys in, I believe, a sky cauldron. This guy improves another facet of these, and that's which must be, this guy increases cutting. So the sky cauldron must increase the purity, because if we drop them in the liquid starlight, that increases the size. So we could do that at some juncture, but look at this insanity. I don't want to do that. This thing looks absurdly frustrating for us to make. So it's not the biggest deal. I can always just make more crystals, and more crystals is more fun anyway. You don't get to know how good that crystal is just by it sitting in the world. But if there's a lot of crystals, that looks way better. So we'll go with that. That is fantastic. All right, this is an ugly room. Now that we've taken care of some of our toluene production, I'm back to looking at neuro processing, and I think we're pretty much there. The main component that we need are stem cells, not too bad, and wetware life support circuit boards. That is a lengthy term, and that needed polystyrene. I don't like this. I don't like this room. We've tucked it in the wall here. It's tiny. It's 3 machines, and most of this fluid, funny enough, kind of came from this room right here. In fact, a whole bunch of stuff is suddenly empty, which is okay, not a big deal. I'm not sure how much of this we'll need, so if I ever need to boost like the ethanol input or the benzene or whatever, then we'll do that. But we already have 12 buckets of polystyrene. I don't even know if we'll ever need that much. I've tucked an assembler right up here. Beautiful. So we should be able to request, was it not a wetware? What was it? It is a wetware. Why you no come up? Store craftable? Oh, it's in my inventory. Okay. Right here, I'm gonna tuck in this pattern. Beautiful. And let's try requesting like 10 of them. And that will get us like 80 of these crazy neuro processing doohickeys. Why do we need these? Well, first of all, it's a trophy, so that's important. And it's also how we make wetware processors, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. Fancy. Ooh, is this a alternate recipe for these? ZPM, LUV, this one's LUV. I guess you can just make it in here, so I don't necessarily need to always do everything in an assembly line. That's cool. What's taking this so long? Oh, it's a slow recipe, I see. Where is it at? 20 seconds? Yeah, that's a bit on the slow side. The other issue is that I didn't set up the automation part properly, so if we just reach up here with a screwdriver, changing the output side, and now allow input from output side. Perfect. That should be fixing it. Why you no fix? Auto output, there we go. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. We have 3 of these guys. All we need now is the worms. Did we just get more of these? I would like more of these. Ooh, thank you. I like more. All right. In the spirit of this process, since we tucked away the polystyrene assembling machine, we're also tucking away this mixer right here. This little fella is purely, at the moment, making stem cells. Is there anything else that we can make in here? We can make simple power catalysts. I think those might be useful to make more of the infinity stuff? No? Do I have this somewhere then? Making unstable mana? I probably do. Well, that's interesting. In any case, we're going to make a bunch of these. Beautiful. Why don't I have eggs? Are you serious? I'm not sure how many stem cells we will eventually need, but if we need more than 4 stacks of eggs, then we'll figure that out. But for right now, that will do quite nicely. Speed it up. Perfect. Started it anyway. What I want to do is speed it up. That's what I was thinking about. We're going to toss a crystal in here, and as always, whee! Zoom, 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 za-loom, ba-doom. Oh wow, these are very slow. Okay, interesting. I might want to, off camera, make a very large sum of those, but there is our first 8. I think I might even make a second stem cells. Oh no, perfect. We did make 10. I like that a lot. And in here, because I think it's really cool looking, I'm going to put a stem cell, just because I think it's so cool to look at. And down below, we're going to place in all of this stuff, hopefully for our very first Neuro Processor thingamabobber jiggy doohickey. Yeah. Aw, what'd I forget? What do you mess up, eh? Oh, I don't have the sterilized flowing in here, I think. That would make sense. How are we doing on that? Always something to fix, right? Tank is empty, lubricant, distilled, soldering. Ah, no UU either. Haha. So we'll put in the sterilized there and the UU into that one. The UU matter is up to 187 buckets. I like it. Flow that stuff right in there. And to our new and wow, look how much wood that is. That is flowing very well now. Look at that. That's beautiful. Oh man, this room is so cool. I'm so happy with that. There we go. That should be getting us more of the stuff. Oh, we have all the sterilized growth medium we will ever need. No questions asked. Perfect. I'm going to grab just a little bit of sugar because we need that for various recipes. And it's there. You know, we have more of it than we need. Beautiful. It's probably already started, isn't it? Did it start? No, it didn't. That's interesting. Why you no start? Distilled water, soldering, neutral matter. What? How did neutral matter get in there? That's not good. That's actually potentially very bad. Might need to look into that. Oh, I know why. Join me as we fix something very silly. Ay, ay, ay. Can't anything just go smooth? No. No, that would be too high of an ask. This guy needs to be turned off. There we go. Perfect. What did I break to get in here? I think I broke this block right there, and I broke this block right there. Perfect. Can I yoink with that one? I think I can. Fantastic. This is going to break the entire machine momentarily, but we need that neutral matter out. So, yoink. Oh, I broke it. I broke it, everyone. Place down. Shift right click. There we go. All right. Are you operating? You are. Haha. There we go. this will be our first Neuro Processing Unit, and that should be a trophy. And because it's a achievement, I'm just going to put another frame there. But the true achievement will be with getting this trophy here, living circuitry, along with a stem cell synthesizer. Interesting. Heals last hit after a long delay. Huh. I don't necessarily know what that means, but I might just yoink that into our system. But yeah, this is quite the achievement. Living circuitry. I like it. I like it a lot. And now we only have 6 to go, everyone. 6 trophies left. Living circuitry. Oh man, look how far ahead I am. I don't even know when this video is coming out, but I think it's in January. Merry Christmas. Hee. And with that, we unfortunately have to call the episode. We've accomplished a lot, and I'm having a great time. Bye-bye! Yay! So much stuff.